Hey, what's up? I'm Guy.
I'm John.
It's our YouTube channel. Subscribe to it. Give this video a like.
Yep. Podcast also down below in the description. Go check that out as well.
And if you're watching this before the draft, live stream, watch the draft with us. Podcast brought to you by wineaccess.com/ham.
Yep. Go get yourself a bottle right now. 20% off. Multiple bottles. Send a gift. Do whatever you want. Wineaccess.com/ham. 20% off.
Everybody give Bill Michaels his credit. This morning, that's the guy that reported the Niners had called and tried to trade for Aaron Rodgers. Everyone went, what? And then some stuff started just drizzling out, John. Pelissero says they were interested but were quickly rebuffed. Then there's PFT. Then there's Schefter, who says, it was Schefter really first, right? That says Rodgers doesn't want to come back to the Packers. On and on and on. As we record this, the latest, he's got a short list. Florio says he's Niners. He wanted them to take it. He'll also take Broncos or Raiders. Hell of a draft day move by Rodgers.
I think it's one of the great FUs in sports history to spend a year. I know it's not exactly a year to the day because I think last year the draft was
the anniversary of the Jordan Love acquisition, though.
That was, at the end of the night, the biggest story in the draft by a mile. I don't even think there was a close second. And Rodgers, I give him credit, shut his mouth, earned the MVP of the league, carried the franchise to their first NFC Championship game since Favre, and was just the best player in the league. And then he waits till draft day to drop this nugget. Pretty insane, guy. But I think we've seen recently, now Deshaun has definitely just quieted because he's got a massage therapist issue going on. But this does feel like, makes you think, if he goes, I'm never playing for you again, what do you do? And he's got, one thing he's got going on his side, money is no issue to him, right?
No.
Like, we sit out and give up money. He's worth hundreds of millions of dollars.
But age is, the years.
Yeah, I mean, he's got a finite career for sure. Like, he's not going to sit out for
a beautiful.
He's not going to pull a Carson Palmer.
Yeah. You know what I wonder when I hear this story on draft day is if he's been pushing for this for a while. Because if you were him and you really wanted to get traded, getting traded was your end goal, you wouldn't start pushing that on draft day. Right? If you want to get traded, and not just to anybody, not send me anywhere. If you want to get traded to a specific number of teams, if you want to get traded to the 49ers, and it was Florio, right, that wrote, Rodgers wanted the Packers to accept the Niners trade offer.
Yeah.
As you tweeted, you're high or stupid if you don't think Rodgers called Kyle and said, come get me. If you really want that, you don't wait until today to do it. Right. My guess is if this is what he wants, this process, he's been trying to get this done for a little while now, and now last ditch effort on draft day, make it public because it's a little harder once the Niners draft a quarterback the Packers wouldn't want. Right. Then it becomes more difficult. But this feels like a last ditch effort to get something done that maybe he's been pushing for behind the scenes. Remember, the report was the Niners called yesterday, so maybe it hasn't been going on that long. Wednesday.
Yeah, maybe they got tipped off recently of this, and when I saw the reaction of like, I can't believe the Niners don't know what they're doing. Are you guys morons? Every human being would rather have Aaron Rodgers on their team for the next 3, 4, 5 years than Trey Lance, Justin Fields, any of these guys. Trevor Lawrence, I would understand, but any of the other 4 top quote-unquote draftable picks for Aaron Rodgers, it's a no-brainer. Now, what I think the Niners' problem is, one, they're the Niners. The Packers, I was texting with you. I said, if you had to do a list 1 through 31, if like the Jags would be the easiest team for them to send them to, I'd imagine the last 2 teams in some order are the Bears and the Vikings. I would imagine the third team, especially when you factor in LaFleur, Kyle, their recent rivalry of playing in the NFC Championship and Niners kicking their ass and Rodgers kind of demanding to go there, the Niners would probably be 29.
Yeah.
Right, of the teams that, and you could argue just given that they would succeed. Now, if I put
Dallas,
Rodgers on
I
the
think
Vikings,
would be really high.
I think the Niners would be above Dallas, though.
I think they would. I part of me wonders would the Niners
because it would be such
above...
an easy. It would be a plug and play. He knows the offense.
I mean, look, Favre ultimately played for the Vikings, but he had to go to the Jets first, right?
But they refused to do it.
Yeah. That's what I'm saying. Like he had to go to the Jets in order to get to the Vikings. Part of me wonders if they'd almost rather him be on one of those teams. Those teams are so close to them from a proximity standpoint. You would not want that, but you would think that he could be at his best with the Niners as opposed to – I mean, it could certainly – look, he's Aaron Rodgers. It would work wherever he goes. I do think now that we know he wants out, it explains the Niners' call a lot more so than at the beginning when it was just, oh, the Niners called because that's what you do. Like, to me, you would have done that the second you got the third pick. Like, at first I thought, did they find out something about somebody's medical? Did something happen that made them go, well, okay, or Kyle is he is dead set on Mac, and they're going, Kyle, what if we could get you Aaron? That's the only way to not get him to take Mac. This makes a ton of sense now, because to me, if you were the Niners and you were going to go down this road, you would have called the second you got the third pick. Like, hey, guys, we got the third pick. We're interested in Aaron. Maybe you keep calling and keep calling and keep calling. But you're right. I don't see how they trade him there. But how do you trade him anywhere? Like, I don't know how you trade him anywhere unless you think, like, ultimately Favre had Aaron Rodgers behind him. Does Aaron Rodgers have the next Aaron Rodgers behind him? It sure doesn't seem like Jordan Love is that. Do they love any of these quarterbacks, John? Have they been scouting these quarterbacks?
Yeah, that'd be the other thing. I would imagine they have, but after the MVP, especially once the contract negotiations fell apart, here's what I do wonder, though. Typically, I always lean like, the players just have little control. I think Aaron Rodgers is one of the rare outliers in the league. He's an NBA player. He can't be traded to a team he doesn't want to go. Right? Like when Anthony Davis or Kyrie Irving, like they dictate the terms of where they get traded. Kevin Durant,
Rodgers isn't going
Curry,
to the Panthers.
LeBron. Yet to me, he would just say no. Like he would tell them, do not trade for me, and they would not. So like when I see I saw someone tweet, the Jags should be all over him. Like, in no world, Aaron Rodgers would start selling crack cocaine before he.
Would you do that if you were the Jags? Trevor Lawrence, number 1 pick?
No, I would. Well, I mean, you'd think about it.
You'd think about it.
Like every team in the league, I would say, made some calls today. He's that level of player. Now, I also think Aaron is dictating the terms, but it's hard. Like, he might be able to dictate to a region, kind of like Florio was saying, the West Coast, but he doesn't get to dictate, like, they only give up a second for me. It is a complicated scenario that I do just wonder if you're Gutekunst and LaFleur, it is somewhat of a get out of jail free. Like he demanded it. He said he would never play here. He told us it's over, because 20 years ago you would have just said, suck it up, come back. What if you did get Trey Lance and he was good? It would give you a pivot point.
Yeah, but it's pretty messy, right? If the reason Aaron got mad at you, and maybe, here's the other thing. I think we just assume it's all about Jordan Love. I don't know if you saw what Glazer wrote, but like Glazer basically wrote, Aaron basically hates the whole front office for a variety of reasons. Like, he's got a personal beef with everybody, which literally everyone that's ever had a boss can identify with it. Yeah. Especially then you get like the FU leverage.
They did it to him somewhat, though, right?
Yeah, so that would be the crazy part to me is like, so you drafted Love. It started this whole domino effect, but then Love wasn't even good enough to replace Aaron. You had to use the pick you got for Aaron to replace Aaron. It'd be that would be hard I think, to live down unless the guy you drafted 3 is really good. And that's where I go back to, did they do their due diligence? Have they really scouted these quarterbacks? Do they really like one of them? Because if they do, you're right. You could go, hey, look, man, what do you want us to do? Kidnap him and force him to play quarterback for the Green Bay Packers? We love Trey Lance. We're good to go. That's what made it easy, I think, for the Cardinals, is like the Cardinals really believed strongly in Kyler. They weren't just like stuck in this spot where they didn't like Josh Rosen. They just loved Kyler. Do the Packers feel that way? Because if they don't, it's a complete mess.
What is it? It is a mess. And it is to me,
mess.
It is self-inflicted on the Love pick. Like, if they had taken Brandon Ayuk, are they here? Maybe. But I do think maybe unlikely, right? And Aaron's happy. This could just be all over money. To me, it's hard. It's the level of respect I have for a guy that's like, listen, I just put my ego to the side. I'm a new, mature guy. He said that all year long. But you, like, believed him. You're like, God, this guy's killing it, right? You're like, God, he really is grown and matured. Little did you know. It's a good lesson. Put your ego to the side. Produce. But keep your enemies in sight. And then come at them when they least expect it. It's an all-time, wartime-like move. No one expected this. And then he just comes in and he ambushes them. And now they are, to me, in a position of weakness, right?
Major.
Aaron has the higher ground. And I don't know if they know what to do, because I put yourself in their shoes. I would be freaking out. I mean, the draft's in 3 hours. We're recording this. What do they do?
I think they got to hold on to him. What do you? All right. Let's talk about the other teams. By the way, before we talk about the other teams, Trey Wingo just. You can see this. Per sources, as of last night, Rodgers was convinced he was headed to San Francisco.
Oh my god.
You imagine if you had just tucked yourself into bed last night, popped a couple Caminos, had a little wine access, a little sippy sip, and then you see like 7 missed calls from me. Get out of bed. It would have been fantastic. Okay. Niners? Broncos? Raiders.
I mean, the other 2 teams he has listed on aren't any good. I mean, they're just relative to it.
Weird list.
Yeah. I think Florio insinuated that he wants to head back west, but I wonder if he just opened it up once he realized the Niners might not happen. Like, is there a chance they just said it? Like, Aaron, no matter what, this is not happening, and you just have to kind of reevaluate?
Yeah, I mean, yes. Like, you have to deal with the reality of the situation, but if you're willing to play for the Broncos, you want to be on the West Coast that bad, you don't want to, I don't know.
Denver is a great city. I just had a buddy that went there, said it was awesome.
Denver's a great city. Can he win a Super Bowl in Denver next year? Maybe he thinks he can. Peyton did it.
Yeah. I mean, they got Vic Fangio.
I know. Like, that's what I don't. I guess he looks at, maybe does he look at that like I'd get to run the offense?
Yeah, I mean, okay, the Raiders, obviously Rodgers is better in Carr, but what do you give 3 first-rounders and a second-rounder, and then what do you really – your defense still stinks.
Yeah, I mean, that's the thing, right, is I guess the Raiders equation would be kind of the way we talked about with Russ. One of the things they would offer is Derek. They would send Derek to Green Bay. I could see Green Bay thinking, again, I wouldn't shock me if they like Derek more than any of the quarterbacks available at 3, the Packers.
And he's but he's up for a new contract in a couple years.
I know, but if you really like him, if you think like in this offense, hell yeah, this can work, which I would understand thinking that.
I agree. But
I mean, it would be to trade Aaron Rodgers, to get bullied by Aaron Rodgers into trading Aaron Rodgers. I mean, look, if I were the Packers, if I had to trade him, I would love to send him to the Broncos.
Yes, that would be my preferred destination, would be to the Denver Broncos. And I think they would have to do that deal immediately.
Could there be some... What if the Broncos want the 3rd pick? And the Packers send them to Denver. Could the Packers, do they make the Broncos sign a thing that promises not to then turn around and trade Aaron? And Aaron tells the Broncos, I'm not going to stay, but you can trade me to San Francisco, and then you guys will have the 3rd pick.
Like a 3-way deal?
Yeah, but what you don't tell the first team that the second team has a deal with the 3rd team. That the Broncos don't tell the Packers they're about
That'd be a risky move by Broncos brass, though, to then just flip, Rodgers. Wouldn't that be like what happened with Piazza to the Mets?
Yeah, exactly. He played for the Marlins for like 6 days. Right. But what if Rodgers said, I am not going to play for you guys, but if you guys want to get to number 3 because you love Trey Lance, here you go. This is how you do it.
So like the agent right now is playing matchmaker? I'll believe anything at this point.
And it's like the way George Patton, like the old Vikings-Packers rivalry, he can stick it to the Packers one last time.
Yeah, that would be incredible.
This is incredible. I'm going to have a hard time if that's just a 3 the Niners just pick, John.
Well, I know. There is no Mac Jones option now. That would be a major letdown.
My God, Aaron. All right, by the time this video's out, there's probably 9 other Aaron reports, but we'll be on top of it, streaming it. If you're watching this before the draft starts or during the draft, watch our stream tonight on our YouTube channel.